influenced by the specific qualities of Kali. Since the days of the Battle of Kurukshetra, about 5,000 years ago, the influence of the age of Kali began manifesting, and from authentic scriptures, it is learned that the age of Kali is still to run on for 427,000 years. The symptoms of the Kali Yuga, as mentioned above, namely avarice, falsehood, diplomacy, cheating, nepotism, violence, and all such things, are already in vogue. And no one can imagine what is going to happen gradually with further increase of the influence of Kali till the day of annihilation. We have already come to know that the influence of the age of Kali is meant for godless, so called civilized man. Those who are under the protection of the Lord have nothing to fear from this horrible age. Maharaja Yudhishthira was a great devotee of the Lord, and there was no necessity of his being afraid of the age of the Kali. But he preferred to retire from active household life and prepare himself to go back home, back to Godhead. The Pandavas are eternal companions of the Lord, and therefore they are more interested in the company of the Lord than anything else. Mataji, can you scroll down, please?
Yeah. Can you see now?
Yes, Mataji. The Pandavas are eternal companions of the Lord, and therefore they are more interested in the company of the Lord than anything else. Besides that, being an ideal king, Maharaja Yudhishthira wanted to retire just to set example for others. As soon as there is some young fellow to look after the young household affairs, one should at once retire from family life to uplift oneself to spiritual realization. One should not rot in the dark well of household life till one is dragged out by the will of Yamaraja. Modern politicians should take lessons from Maharaja Yudhishthira about voluntary retirement from active life and should make a room for the younger generation. Also, retired old gentlemen should take lessons from him and leave for spiritual realization before being forcefully dragged away to meet death. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranams.
Krishna, thank you, Mataji. So we see the punchlines what Prabhupada is putting here. So Prabhupada says that first he talks about the symptoms of the Kali Yuga, avarice, falsehood, diplomacy, cheating, nepotism, violence, and all these things. We people can see all these things are happening in Kali Yuga, and Kali Yuga has started just 5,500 years ago. Still, we have almost 4,27,000 years to go. So we can only imagine that how the influence of Kali will be prominent and how everything, every good quality will degrade, how dharma will degrade in the age of Kali. And Kali, what is the age of Kali? Everything like it will promote godlessness. Though people say that they are civilized, but actually they will become godless. But it is so bad, but still there is nothing for the devotees to fear. And Maharaja Yudhishthir was a great devotee of the Lord. So he need not to fear from the Kali. But then why he was leaving the house? Why he was leaving his palace? Why he was leaving the official duties? Why he wanted to get retired? Because Kali cannot influence him because he's the pure devotee of the Lord. So then why do you think that Maharaja Yudhishthir is leaving the home? He wants to retire to set an example for others that don't stick to your house and your kingdom and your rule and your controlling tendency forever. Prabhupada writes very good line and we all should underline. One should not rot in the dark well of household life till one is dragged out by the will of Yamaraj. So we all are in the household life. Household life is meant from 25 years to 50 years. After that, we should adopt Vanaprastha up to the age of 75. And then after that, sannyas. Though sannyas is not recommended in Kali Yuga, but at least we can adopt the life of Vanaprastha. But no, what is happening in Kali Yuga? Everyone, the householders, they are sticking, they are holding their position of being household. Okay, and they are staying in the house, being fully attached with the household things, and they want to be in control of everything. They don't want to leave anything to the younger generation. They don't want to transfer the control to the younger generation. But Prabhupada says, as soon as there is some young fellow to look after the household affairs, so as soon as you see that there is an eligible person who can take care of the household affairs, you should retire from the family life and you should engage yourself in the devotional service, spiritual realization. And what we can do in the Vanaprastha age, we should go more on the pilgrimage. We should go more for the dham visit. We should stay more in the dham. Definitely, we should do more chanting. We should listen to more Harin Katha. But the one thing which we should increase is try to move away from the home by going frequently to the dham. So maybe 6 months out of the 1 year, stay in dham, and then 3 months you go to dham, then come 3 months you stay at home, then again you go 3 months and come back. This is how we should live once we have crossed 50 years of age, right? And when we are moving, then who is going to look after the household affairs? The younger generation. Give the control to them, give the hold to them. But you see, in most of the houses, what is the point of conflict? The older generation doesn't want to leave the control, and the younger generation, they want to keep them under their control, right? But this is not what our Vedic culture teaches. This is not what even kings who were so prosperous, who were living such an opulent life, even they were following. They were handing over their whole kingdom to the next generation and they would move further to the forest for spiritual realization. Okay. And then Prabhupada is giving this lesson to householders as well as to modern politicians. They should take lesson from Maharaj Yudhishthir about voluntary retirement. You see, nowadays, the age of prime minister, the age of president is usually 70 plus, 80 plus. When I was small, I would see that anybody who becomes the prime minister of India is an old person. So it was fixed in my mind that only old persons they are eligible to become the president of a country because everybody was like 80 plus. So 80 plus or 70 plus, even 60 plus is an retirement age. So the politicians should take voluntary retirement from active life so that younger generation can come and take control of all the things. So the householders and the politicians, they should take lesson from the Maharaja Yudhishthir. And just to set this example in front of others, Maharaja Yudhishthir decided to retire from active life. Okay. And last line is also again a punch line. The retired old gentleman should take lessons from him and leave home for spiritual realization before being forcibly dragged away to meet death. So Prabhupada is telling us again and again, whether you are a householder, whether you are an active politician, whether you are in your old age, don't wait for Yamaraj to come and take you out of your home. Leave your home voluntarily, spend more time in dham, spend more time in temple life, do more service, spend more time in devotional service. Don't wait for Yamaraj to come and take out of this household life. Okay? Is this okay? Any question, any realization? Does this make sense, dear devotees?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Hari Bol. Okay. So
Mataji.
let's go to Hari Bol. So
Mataji,
next.
one realization is there. Anyhow,
Yes,
what
Prabhu.
I was told, I am observing that now. So I am fully satisfied with that. So my kids will take their responsibility of the family. And then just I am spending most of the time in hearing classes and chanting. So I am grateful.
Wonderful, Prabhu. Your realizations are always very nice, eye-opening realizations. So this is wonderful what you are doing.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. So now in 38 and 39, we will see that how he prepares to leave. He's not running away from his duties. He's not running away from his responsibilities. He's making a proper arrangement so that everything goes well even after him. So let's see, and that is our responsibility also. And let's see what he does. So we will recite shlok number 38. Swarat Potram.
Swarat Potram.
Vininam Atmana.
Vininam Atmanah.
Tu Samam Gunai.
Samam Gunai.
Toya Nivyah Patim.
Toya Nivyah Patim.
Umer. Abhyashinchad. Gajavahe. Swarat Potram Viniyanam. Manah Susamam Gunaiha. Toya Nivyah Patim Bhumer. अभ्यषिञ्च गजाह्यवये
अभ्यषिञ्चावये
Okay, so who would like to recite the shloka? Kusumlata Mataji, would you like to recite?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandvat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Swarat Pautram Viniyanam. Swarat Pautram Viniyanam. Atmanah Susam Gunai. Toye Nivyapatim Bhumirabhya.
Abhayashincha gajahyam.
Abhay Sichanand Gajave.
Hari
Thank you,
Bol. Mataji, can you read the translation also?
Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thereafter, in the capital of Hastinapur, he enthroned his grandson, who was trained and equally qualified, as the emperor and master of all land bordered by the seas.
So now how he is preparing to leave? He has given his kingdom of Hastinapur to his grandson. And who is his grandson?
Parikshit Maharaj.
Parikshit Maharaj.
Parikshit Maharaj. And there are very two beautiful things told about Parikshit Maharaj. Susam Gunai, who is equal to Maharaj Yudhishthir in all the qualities. And the second thing is Vinyaniyam. Vinyaniyam means he is properly trained. Okay, it's not that he has been just haphazardly put on the throne. From the very beginning, he's been trained to become the emperor, and he is equal in qualities with Maharaj Yudhishthir. So Maharaj Yudhishthir has given the kingdom of Hastinapur to Maharaj Parikshit. And what was the kingdom of Hastinapur? All the land bordered by the seas. So you can see that the whole earth was actually ruled by Hastinapur. All the land which is bordered by the sea, Toya Nivya. So all the big islands. So the earth is a big island, right? So this was being ruled by Hastinapur emperor, and now Maharaj Parikshit was the emperor of Hastinapur. So Maharaj Yudhishthir enthroned Maharaj Parikshit, and Maharaj Parikshit is completely trained and completely qualified to become the emperor of this kingdom. Okay, this is how he prepared to leave. Let's read the purport. Who will read the purport? Who wants to read? Archana Mataji, can you please read?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Sure. Hare Krishna.
Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. The total land on the earth bordered by seas was under the subjugation of King of Hastinapura. Maharaja Yudhishthira trained his grandson Maharaja Parikshit, who was equally qualified in state administration in terms of king's obligation to the citizen. Thus, Parikshit was enthroned on seat of Maharaja Yudhishthira prior to his departure back to Godhead. Concerning Maharaja Parikshit, accepted the specific words used, vinayinam is significant, which was reason, which was why was the king of Hastinapura, at least till the time of Maharaja Parikshit, accepted as the emperor of the world? The only reason is that the people of the world were happy because of the good administration of the emperor. Happiness of citizen was due to ample production of natural produce such as grains, fruits, milk, herbs, valuable stones, minerals, and everything that the people needed. They were even free from all bodily miseries, anxiety of mind, and disturbances caused by natural phenomena and other living beings. Because everyone was happy in all respects, there was no resentment, although there were sometimes battles between the state kings for political reasons and supremacy. Everyone was trained to attain the highest goal of life, and therefore the people were also enlightened enough not to quarrel over trivialities. trivialities. The influence of the age of Kali gradually infiltrated the good qualities of both the kings and the citizen, and therefore a tense situation developed between the ruler and the ruled. But still, even in this age of disparity between the ruler and the ruled, there can be spiritual emolument and good consciousness. That is a special prerogative. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Haribol. So now Maharaj, after Maharaj Yudhishthir, it is Maharaj Parikshit who has taken over the rule of complete earth. So Prabhupada asks a very good question in the purport, that why people are accepting Hastinapur king as the emperor of the world. Why they do not revolt? Oh no, somebody else should come. Usually you see what is the practice in Kali Yuga, that if anybody is ruling, even if he's ruling nicely, there are people who are opposing, continuously opposing that person. But why it was not happening? Prabhupada has written very beautiful points that how the subjects were happy in the during the rule of King Yudhishthir and King Parikshit. The only reason is that we can underline this: people of world were happy because of good administration of the emperor. So if the king is giving good administration, people are very happy, and the happiness of the citizen was due to ample production of natural produce such as grains, fruits, milk, herbs, valuable stones, minerals, and everything that people needed. That means the earth was giving everything in plenty, whether it was agriculture crops, whether it was minerals, whether it is valuable stones, everything what people could need from earth, all the natural resources were in abundance. Then they were free from all bodily miseries, anxiety of mind, disturbances caused by natural phenomena and other living beings. That means the three Vidtap, Adhibhautik, Adidevik, and Adhyatmik, they were free of the three Vidtap. This tap was also not there. Okay? Because they were happy in all respect, there was no resentment. They were not fighting with each other. Right? But sometimes there were battle between the state kings for political reason and supremacy. So everybody was happy. Everybody was having enough of the resources to live and maintain their life. Nobody had any type of miseries. Nobody was having envy with others. And on top of that, everyone was trained to attain the highest goal of life, to attain Krishna Prem, right? Spiritual realization. And therefore, people were also enlightened enough not to quarrel over trivialities. So, this is how the Dwapar Yuga people were living under the rule of King Yudhishthir and King Parikshit. But as Kali Yuga came, all these started deteriorating. Okay, because Kali is the time of hypocrisy, time of quarrel, right? So it is the period of hypocrisy, period of quarrel, period of envy. So everything started deteriorating. But there is one prerogative of Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is very bad. All bad things are manifesting in Kali Yuga. But there is one good quality of Kali Yuga. What is that quality?
Simply by chanting, we can.
Spiritual
emolument and God consciousness.
Yes, simply by taking Harinam, there can be spiritual emolument and God consciousness. Yes, Prabhupada has used these two heavy words, but the simple thing is just by chanting Harinam, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, one will be relieved from this cycle of birth and death and will attain Vaikuntha Lok. Okay? So, Kaler Dosh Nidhe Rajan, Nasti Heko Mahan Gunaha. There is one great prerogative of Kali Yuga, that anybody who will take only the name, no tapasya, no sadhana, nothing else is required. In Satyug and Dwapar Yuga and Treta Yuga, what was the dharma of Satyug? In Satyug, if somebody has to get
meditation, Mataji.
Meditation, and for thousands of years, like Vishwamitra did for 60,000 years. So thousands of years they have to do tapasya, meditation. What was the dharma of Treta Yuga? Yes. So they were doing elaborate yagya, Ashwamedh yagya, Rajasuya yagya, Putreshti yagya, elaborate yagya they were doing. And then what was the dharma of Dwapar Yuga?
Visiting the temples, Mataji.
Deity worship. Again, elaborate deity worship in the temples 5 times a day. That is the dharma of Dwapar Yuga. But in Kali Yuga, none of these three is possible, right? So what is the dharma of Kali Yuga?
Chanting
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Chanting the holy names,
Sankirtanam,
Mataji.
Kirtanam.
Chanting. Mala we have in our hand, wherever you are sitting, whatever you are doing, in whatever state you are, you don't have to think anything. Just chant on your mala. And even if you don't have mala, just chant by your tongue. This is what is required in Kali Yuga. And if people in Satyug, Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug would come to know about this thing, they will think, oh my God, how cheaply they are getting Krishna Prem. How cheaply they are getting the love of Krishna. They had to do so many things. And we are so fortunate that in Kali Yuga, we are only getting by chanting the name of Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Rama, Ram
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare.
Ram Hare Hare.
Very good. Divya Mataji, you raised your hand. Do you want to say anything?
Just for reading Mataji.
Okay, so next shloka you will read. Okay. So any question, any realization here?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, in yesterday class, we came to know that if you are in the devotional service or if you are chanting the Hare Nama Sankirtan forever, the influence of Kali cannot affect us.
Yes.
Even today, I already heard in a class, even the Nama Bhasa,
Yeah,
not so pure, then Kali will not affect you.
exactly. Yeah. Even in the previous shloka 37, it is clearly mentioned those who are under the protection of Lord have nothing to fear from this horrible age. So Kali will not have any effect on those who are devotees of the Lord. So actually, when you know the story, when Parikshit Maharaj will be wandering in his kingdom and he will see a cow and a bull, and the person is beating the cow. So it is the advent of Kali. It is Kali Yuga, right? So then Kali Yuga, then Parikshit Maharaj said, "You go out of my you cannot stay here." Then he said, "Okay, give me some place where I can stay." So then Parikshit Maharaj said, he said, because everywhere it is your kingdom, full earth is your kingdom, and you are a very righteous king. So where will I live? So then Parikshit Maharaj, he told the four places where there is gambling, where there is alcohol, where there is meat eating, and where there is illicit relationship. So there you can stay. Kali Yuga was very clever. Kali Yuga said these are all four deteriorated things. That means you are sending the Parikshit Maharaj wants to send me only to bad places, which are very few in his kingdom. Anybody will take a torch and will find microscope and will try to find these four places. He will not find. He said these are very deteriorated places. I accept to stay there, but tell me some other place also. Give me one more good place. Then Parikshit Maharaj said, okay, in gold. You can live in gold. And that is how he immediately entered into his uh, crown. And then when Parikshit Maharaj was going for uh, hunting, so he had that bad thought of putting snake across the neck of the rishi. So this is how that Kali Yuga was influence was not even applicable in the kingdom of Parikshit Maharaj, because Parikshit Maharaj was such a pure devotee. But with cleverness, he asked places where he could stay. So those who are the devotee of the Lord, they will never be under the influence of Kali. Even Kali Yuga accepted this, that under your influence, when your kingdom is there, my influence will not work, because you are devotee of the Lord and your people are also devotee of the Lord. So this is the special mercy by the Lord on Kali Yuga. As Prabhu said, even with Nama Bhas, we can be delivered.
Yes, Mataji. I think the last line is very hopeful. Even in this age of disparity, yeah, there can be spiritual emolument.
Yes, exactly. Very well. Because
Mataji, Namabhas, what is Namabhas?
Nama Bhas is actually there are three states of Nam. We are taking Nam, right? We are chanting. But there are three levels. The lowest level is Ashuddha Nam. Like we are doing all the Nama Parad and we are taking the Nam. Higher than that is Nama Bhas, Nam Abhas. Abhas means it appears. It appears that we are taking name, but it is not the purest of the form. And the highest is Shuddha Nam. So Shuddha Naam only Shuddha devotees can take. Our level is very low. We are actually taking the lowest Ashuddha Naam, right? But Nama Bhas is better than that one. So Nama Bhas is a stage where we are not doing Nama Parad, but maybe we are not fully absorbed also in the Naam. But even if we are at that stage, we will be delivered in Kali Yuga. For other yugas, it should be Shuddha, completely pure. But in Kali Yuga, even with Nama Bhas, that means little hybrid also, we are not completely absorbed, but we are not doing Nama Parad. But the last one is Nama Parad. We are doing all the nonsense things and still we are taking name. And under the shelter of the name, we are doing all bad things. So that is the worst kind, right? But Nama Bhas is also powerful enough to deliver people in Kali Yuga.
Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. Yes, Sudha Mataji, you also want to say something or you want to read?
No, Mataji, for reading.
Okay, so first Divya Mataji will read, then Sudha Mataji. So can we go to text 39? Okay. Mathurayam tatha vajram.
Mathurayam tata vajram
Vajram.
Surasena patim tatah.
Surasena patim
Patim
tataha
Tataha.
Prajapatyam
Prajapatyam
Pyeshtim
Nirupishtim
Agnin
Agnin
Apipad Varaha.
Ishvaraha.
Mathurayam tatha vajram.
Mathurayam tata vajram
Surasena patim tatah.
Surasena
Surasena
patim
tataha
Prajapatyam nirupyeshtim.
Prajapatyam nirupishtim
Agnin apipadishwarah.
Agnim apipatishvara
Okay, Divya Mataji, you will recite the shloka.
Mathurayam tata vajram Dhurasenapatim tatah Prajapatyam nirupeshtin Agnina pibadishwarah.
Hari bol. Thank you, Mataji. Can you read the translation as well?
Translation by Bhakti Vedanta Srilas Prabhupada Swami. Then he posted Vajra, the son of Aniruddha, grandson of Lord Krishna, as Mathura as the king of Surasena. Afterwards, Maharaja Yudhishthira performed a Prajapatya sacrifice and placed in himself the fire for quitting household life. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, Hastinapur kingdom he gave to Parikshit and Mathura kingdom he gave to Vajranab. Vajranab is the grandson of Lord Krishna and son of Anirudh, and he gave the kingdom of Mathura, he gave the rule of Mathura to Vajranab. At Mathura as the king of Shursen, okay, because Shursen ji was the king of Mathura before that, and after Shursen ji, he gave the kingdom to Vajranab. And then after giving the responsibility of kingdom's rule to the grandsons, then he did Prajapati sacrifice. He did Prajapatya sacrifice, and then he decided, now I have to leave the household life. Okay. He placed in himself the fire. He was burning with this desire that I have to quit the household life. Let's read the purport. There was Divya Mataji, and then I think there's another Sindhu Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Which Mataji raised hand? Sudha Mataji. Yes, Sudha Mataji, can you read, please?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Purport
Hare
by His
Krishna.
Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Maharaja Yudhishthira, after placing Maharaja Parikshit on the imperial throne of Hastinapur and after posting Vajra, the great grandson of Lord Krishna, as a king of Mathura, accepted the renounced order of life. The system of 4 orders of life and 4 castes in terms of quality and worth, known as Varnashrama Dharma, is the beginning of real human life, and Maharaja Yudhishthira, as the protector of the system of human activities, timely retired from active life as a sannyasi, handing over the charge of the administration to a trained prince, Maharaja Parikshit. The scientific system of Varnashrama Dharma divides the human life into 4 divisions of occupation and 4 orders of life. The 4 orders of life as Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and sannyasa are to be followed by all irrespective of the occupational division. Modern politicians do not wish to retire from active life even if they are old enough, but Yudhishthira Maharaj, as an ideal king, voluntarily retired from active administrative life to prepare himself for the next life. Everyone's life must be so arranged that the last stage of life, say at least the last 15 to 20 years prior to death, can be absolutely devoted to the devotional service of the Lord to attain the highest perfection of life. It is really foolishness to engage oneself all the days of one's life in material enjoyment and fruitive activities, because as long as the mind remains absorbed in fruitive work for material enjoyment, there is no chance of getting out from the conditioned life or material bondage. No one should follow the suicidal policy of neglecting one's supreme task of attaining the highest perfection of life, namely going back home, back to Godhead. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So we saw that how Yudhishthir Maharaj, now he has given his responsibilities further to the next generation, and then he has done the sacrifice, and now he wants to leave. He's preparing himself. He has this desire that now I should leave this household life. And then Prabhupada tells us that as per the Varnashram Dharma, there are 4 occupational orders and 4 spiritual order, right? So everybody, whatever occupation you are in, whether you are Brahman, you are Kshatriya, you are Vaishya or Shudra, everybody should leave Grihastha and adopt Vanprastha and Sannyas ashram. Everybody should retire. And then again he says, he compares, modern politicians do not wish to retire from active life, even if they are old enough. So you see, in the politics, people are 80, 85 plus 90, and they are still continuing. They don't want to leave the control. But Maharaja Yudhishthir, as opposed to that, as in contrast to that, voluntarily retired from active administrative life. Why? To prepare himself for the next life. But nowadays, nobody's thinking about spiritual realization. Nobody's thinking about the next life, right? And then Prabhupada says a very nice thing, again a punchline for all of us, that how many years of our life shall we spend, we should detach from the household life. Ideally, at the age of 50, we should retire from household life. But for example, in Kali Yuga, retirement age itself is 60, not 50. So if we are not retiring at 50, then what is the ideal age we should retire? Prabhupada says at least last 15 to 20 years prior to death, it should be absolutely devoted to the devotional service of the Lord. At least 15 to 20 years. Now we don't know when the death will come, but at least if we assume that we will stay up to 75 years or 70 years, then safely we should leave the active household life 15 to 20 years. So that means between the age of 50 to 60, 55 and 60, we should start slowing down. Don't make new investments, don't buy new properties, don't start new business, don't take up new jobs, don't take up new responsibilities, because it is the time to slow down. And as Maharaja Yudhishthir is preparing for leaving the household life, this slow down is also our preparation to leave the active household life. So between the age of 50 and 60, this gear changing should start. We should, from fast lane, we should move to medium lane and then to the slow lane, so that by the age of 60, we can retire from the household life. And next 15 to 20 years at least, we should be spending in the devotional service. So this is an average Prabhupada is giving, though we don't know when the death will come. But if we are healthy and we think that we will have an average lifespan, then this is the ideal plan. Okay. Then Prabhupada says, as long as the mind remains absorbed in fruitive work for material enjoyment, there is no chance of getting out from conditioned life or material bondage. No one should follow this suicidal policy of neglecting one's supreme task of attaining the highest perfection of life, namely going back to Godhead. So what is the supreme goal in our life? Going back to Golok. So if we neglect this goal, we are following the path of suicide. We are killing our own soul, right? Is it clear? Is it okay?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes,
Very
Mataji.
good. So these two shlokas, how Maharaj Yudhishthir prepared. And Prabhupada has given for us also how we have to prepare. And then shloka number 40, now Maharaj Yudhishthir retires and travels to north. Okay. So shlok number 40, Visrijya tatrat tat
Visrij tatra
sarvam
sarvam
dukul
dukul
yadikam
valayadikam
namo nira ahankara
nirmamo
Nirahankaraha
sanchinna
Sanchina
Desh bandhana
Deshabandhana
Visrijya tatra tat sarvam
Visrijya Tattva
Kulavalyadikam
Kulavalayadikam
Nirmamo nirahankara
Nirmamo
nirahankara
Sanchinna shesha bandhanaha.
Sanchina Sheshabandhana.
Dhanashri Mataji, you raised your hand. Would you like to recite the shloka?
Yes, Mataji. Dandvat Pranam, Mataji.
Ji.
Visrucha tatra tat sarvam dukula valayadikam nirmamo nirahankaraha sachinna shesha bandhanaha.
Very well. Thank you, Mataji. Can you read the translation also? Dhanashri Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ji ki jai. Maharaja Yudhishthira at once relinquished all his garments, belts and ornaments of the royal order and became completely disinterested and unattached to everything. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. And then now Maharaja Yudhishthir retires at once. He is not taking time. There is no process. At once he relinquished all his garments, all his belts, all his ornaments. So whatever he was wearing as king, everything he gave up. At once, immediately he gave up. When he finished all his duties, he finished all the sacrifice, everything. And then he became completely disinterested and unattached to everything. So you see, it is like switching the mode, right? He was in the royal mode and immediately he switched the mode. That is how people in previous yugas were trained. Okay. So let's read the purport. Navkishori Mataji, would you like to read?
Hare Krishna Mataji, yes. Thank you Mataji. Dandvat Pranam. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. To become purified of material contamination is the necessary qualification from becoming one of the associates of the Lord. No one can become an associate of the Lord or can go back to Godhead without such purification. Maharaja Yudhishthira, therefore, to become spiritually pure, at once gave up his royal opulence, relinquishing his royal dress and garments. The Kshaya, Mataji, what is this? Kashaya.
Kashaya.
Thank you, Mataji. The Kashaya of or saffron linen cloth of a sannyasi indicates freedom from all attractive material garments, and thus he changed his dress accordingly. He became interested in his kingdom and family, and thus became free from all material contamination or material designation. People are generally attached to various kinds of designations. The designations of family, society, country, occupation, wealth, position, and many others. As long as one is attached to such designations, he is considered materially impure. The so-called leaders of men in the modern age are attached by national consciousness, but they do not know that such false consciousness is also another designation of the materially conditioned soul. One has to relinquish such designations before one can become eligible to go back to Godhead. Foolish people adore such men who die in national consciousness. But here is an example of Maharaja Yudhishthira is a royal king who prepared himself to leave this world without such a national consciousness. And yet he is remembered even today because he was a great pious king, almost on the same level with the personality of Godhead, Sri Rama. And because people of the world were dominated by such pious kings, they were happy in all respects, and it was quite possible for such great emperors to rule the world. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. The first line is again a punchline by Prabhupada ji. To become purified of material contamination is necessary qualification for becoming one of engineer. I'm manager. So these are the designation. I'm father of this child. I'm husband of this wife. I'm wife of this husband. Right. So I'm holding more and more designation. Each of the designation is like an anchor to stay in this. To such designations, we are materially impure. So that means there is no chance we can go to Golok till we are attached to any of the designation. Then Prabhupada says a very different thing. He says the so-called leaders of men in the modern time, now they are attached by national consciousness. Okay, nothing else. If nothing else is there, they will become national conscious. Okay, but Prabhupada says that even national consciousness is a false consciousness. It is like another designation. And if you want to become God realized, then this will not help. This will be a detriment in the path of going back to Godhead. So even the national consciousness, though it is considered the highest level of consciousness in the material world, but this is also is blocking the way going back to Godhead. Prabhupada says that you see Yudhishthir Maharaj, though he fought so many fights during his life, right? He fought for his kingdom also. He got the kingdom also. But at the last stage of his life, he left everything, even national consciousness also he left. There was no feeling for his kingdom, for the earth, for anything, for his country. Even he left that. And everybody still remembers King Yudhishthir. That means people who have national consciousness, who die for their country, they are remembered for some time. But those who are the devotee of the Lord, they are remembered forever. And Prabhupada has compared Yudhishthir Maharaj to Lord Sri Ram. Okay. And then Prabhupada says again, the last line, very, very important, that because people of the world are dominated by the kings who are national conscious, who are not conscious like this, they were happy in all respect. We can relate it to 37 shlok number, that why people were happy, because the kings were of pure conscious and their pure consciousness was only at the lotus feet of the Lord. And that is why people were happy under them. And that is why it was able for these kings also to rule the people for many, many, many years. Okay. Is it okay? Is it fine? So with this, we reach to shlok number 40. So we were supposed to cover 4 shlokas today, which we have covered. So any question or any realization from today's shlokas anybody wants to share?
Hare Krishna
Nothing?
Mataji.
Ji Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, you were saying about the politics where the senior people are still staying. It is not only in this politics, Mataji, even in the small organizations or companies, in schools, everywhere this is happening, Mataji. That is, everybody want to become the principal of the school. And suddenly there is one principal, they make they play games and they try to throw that person out. Then finally one person is elected there, and now what happens, all others are against this person now who is elected as principal, and they start playing games against this person, like they always torture them, they simply fight in order to create the pressure and all that. This is happening everywhere, Mataji. In the school where I worked, I have seen this many times. Simply with no reason, they create problems for the heads so that they will leave the job and go on their own, like that, Mataji.
Correct. Because this is Kali Yuga, right? No one is in God consciousness. Everybody is in material consciousness. And everybody wants, and they are not aware that something higher exists. So they want to stick to that only. And the worst part is to attain those positions, those false designation, temporary designations, they don't hesitate to do anything. As you said, they will play dirty games, they will play politics, they will backbite the people, they will not even hesitate to harm somebody. So this is the influence of Kali Yuga. And this is prevalent everywhere, not only in politics. Why Prabhupada mentioned about politics? Number one, because Maharaja Yudhishthir is a politician. So that's why he made a direct comparison. And second thing is politicians, they are the rulers of the society. So whatever example they will set, the people down will follow the same. So because the politicians are so greedy for the positions, even at an old age, the same is being followed by the public. And that is why Prabhupada has given this example. Otherwise, this is prevalent in all the stratas of the life. Yes, Mataji, you have told very correctly.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So can we now recite the shlokas, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, so you will share the screen?
Yes, Mataji, I'll be sharing the screen.
Sure, Mataji.
So those who are interested to read, can you please raise your hands, dear devotees? Hare Krishna.
Dhanashri Mataji.
Mataji, I'm just sharing.
Sure. Sindhu Mataji. Sudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dhanashri Mataji, Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. 1.5.11 तद्वाग्विसर्गो जनता भविप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकमबद्धवत्यपि नामान्यननत्यस्य शशोऽङ्कितानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवः.
This one also, Mataji.
1.5.17 त्यक्त्वा स्वधर्मं चरणाम्बुजं हरे भजन्नपक्वोऽथ पतेत तत्तो यदि यत्र को वा भद्रमबुधमहिममुष्य को वार्थ आप्तभुजतां स्वधर्मतः. हरे कृष्ण
Mataji, Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
1.5.18 तस्यैव हेतोः प्रयतेत कोविदो नालभ्यते यद्भ्रमतामुपर्यदः तल्लभ्यते दुःखवदं यतः शुकं कालेन सर्वत्र गभीररंहसा. Shloka 1.5.22 idam hi pumshastapasah shrutasya va shvishtasya shuktasya cha buddhidattayoh avichyuto ritah kavibhir nirupito yat uttama sloka gunanuvarnanam.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Iti murti abhidanena mantramurtim amurtikam yajate yagna purusham sasamyak darshanah puman bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranihite male apashyat purusham purnam mayam cha tat apashrayam. Hare Krishna
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
1.7.5 यया सम्मोहितो जीव आत्मानं त्रिगुणात्मकं परोऽपि मनुते अनर्थं तत्कृतं चाभिपद्यते अनाथोपशनं साक्षात् भक्तियोगम् अधोक्षजे लोकस्य जनतो विद्वांस चक्रे सात्वत संहिताम्. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna, who is the last? Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Mataji, Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
Hare.
Shloka number 1. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.7.7 Yashyam ve shruyamānāyam Krishne paramapurushe bhaktirutpadyate pumsaha chokamoha bhayapaha. Sutuvacha atmaramascha munayo nirgrantha अप्युरुक्रमे कुर्वन्त्य हेतु किं भक्ति मित्थ अभुत्तगणो हरिः. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you Mataji. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Vancha
Thank you very much,
kalpatarubhyascha कृपा पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः.
Srila Prabhupada.
प्रभुपाद की
जय
जय.
ग्रंथराज की भागवतम की जय
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. Thank
जय.
you. हरि बोल.
Hare Hare Bol. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Thank
Krishna
you.
Mataji, Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.